As we reach the end of the season, we thought we'd put together a compilation of the best answers to all the different questions we asked about fractional. Take a listen. What do you think people misunderstand about hiring fractional communications people?
I mean, honestly, there might be this belief that why do I need a fractional if I have agency support? Isn't that kind of what they're doing? I think that might be a misconception.
Mm-hmm.
Some might look to their agency support if they have that as a fractional,
Oh,
and it's
interesting.
not.
Right.
It's not. I think having a fractional CCO or fractional head of corporate affairs who is really embedded in the company and dedicated to it and can help build the team, establish the strategy. It's more than just an account, if you will.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of how I think about it. Full disclosure, I've never served in a fractional role, but that is how I would think about it if I was looking to hire someone.
Well, I'm a huge supporter because as you guys started talking about the proposition, the light bulbs just started going off. It's like, oh, yeah, that's what has been missing from my teams from the get-go. I've been in the CCO position in so many different companies and so many different industries with amazing teams, and I was never looking to replace someone on my team. What I would have been thinking about had this been in existence is what is going on right now in the industry that I need some expertise in to drop in, whether I need it long term or not, neither here nor there. But I can think of so many occasions where I needed something that I didn't have on the team, and we kind of stitched it together in
Right.
other ways. And I think that's one of the misconceptions is, well, something has to be wrong with the team for someone to have the leadership to bring someone in who can do something
Right.
that the team can't do. And that's small thinking, it's myopic thinking, it's sort of fear-based thinking.
Yep.
And with everything going on in the world right now, I mean, who can't use another great brain on a topic that may be bringing something to bear? And so I think there's a real moment for this kind of work to shine and progress.
Maybe one of the bigger misunderstandings is that you're not hiring a consultant as a fractional leader. You're hiring somebody to embed and to be a leader in the organization. And that may be a distinction without a difference. I actually think it's a very big difference.
When do you think is the right moment for a company to hire someone on a fractional basis?
I think there's probably three different scenarios. One is when you've lost either your head of comms or a lot of your team, and you need somebody in there immediately. Secondly, when you've got a crisis,
Yep.
because in a crisis situation, the people that, well, certainly in your organization, these are such seasoned
Yep.
professionals that they know exactly what to do. And then the third situation is I think it saves a lot of money. It saves money because you don't have to worry about paying all the benefits like you ordinarily would.
Right.
You're not signing a long-term deal with someone. And it's a mutual kind of association.
I think anytime you need extra hands and an extra brain. So
All the time, in my opinion. But
yeah,
anyway, go ahead. I'm
exactly
glad.
right, exactly. So I had a team when I first joined Roblox of only 3 people, and it was insane. We were just going public. And I one of the first things I did in the first week or two of joining is put an org chart together and start,
Right.
deciding what kind of heads I needed and what kind of functions I needed, et cetera.
Right.
And we
Right.
needed everything at that point, right? So I think that if I would have known or thought about this 5 years ago,
Yeah.
that would have been a perfect opportunity
Sure, sure.
to bring in senior leadership while I was looking for
Yep.
the people to fill those roles, like somebody for financial comms, somebody
Right.
for corporate comms, somebody for internal comms.
Right.
That would have actually been a perfect situation.
one of the areas that I think there's a ton of value from thinking about fractional support is so many times within an organization, your existing team is distracted by the day-to-day noise,
Yep.
um, things that are just happening, and perhaps more significantly, just by the hardwired default mechanism that lives in an organization. When you sit within the four walls of a
Right.
company, a way people think about your industry, about the problems, and the value of the outside of the noise
Yeah.
perspective. Let's assume the competency is a given,
Right.
um, but being able to have a more seasoned, level-headed perspective that can sit beyond
Right.
the
Right.
noise in the echo chamber is, in my mind, super valuable.
Look, I think fractional is really interesting, right? Because it thinks it gives you, as a CCO, it gives you some flexibility, and in uncertain times, you need to call on different tools in the skill set. And so what I loved about that moment is that you genuinely came in to fill a business need. In this case, it was a mat leaf cover. But you came with such a wealth of experience, right? We were lucky to be able to get you, right? And so I think in that example, it was a scenario where we filled the gap, but we got so much more than we bargained for. I think it was a non-threatening way that we got all boats to rise, right? I think you're not interested in coming in for a permanent job. You made that clear from the beginning. That wasn't the terms of the engagement, but you were so open to contribute to that project and beyond and to mentor along the way. And as you think about, particularly in the media industry right now, so much upheaval, so much turmoil, so much turnover, but at the same time, even more competitive for market share, even more competitive for a share of voice. It gives you, I think it gives the fractional element is an interesting tool in the toolkit.
You could argue any time's the right time, but I would tell you, I think especially it's important in a moment of great change, or you have to make a pretty big pivot. Almost every company in any industry is doing that today. And someone who comes in at clear eyes, clear mind, no previous kind of relationships or camps that you may have been in, who can see things objectively and act quickly. I think that's a perfect time to bring in someone on a fractional basis.
How can a fractional communications person bring value that a full-time team member might not?
I think as I look at the fractional approach, I think it helps give additional insights from what's going on outside the organization. Because I think we've all been in organizations, or maybe are in organizations today, where you get stuck inside the bubble.
Yep.
And you start talking the language of the company, and you try and do that to people who are outside as well. And then people are like, what does that mean? I don't understand. So I think they can help bring that outside perspective. I think they can help if they're seasoned professionals, they can help bring some more leadership to the table that might be needed, and some of the experiences. And they can also bring some specialized skills that the team might need that you
Right.
don't need to use every day, and so you don't have that on your team. But I think there's clearly a opportunity for fractional communicators.
Well, I think the value that fractional brings is, I like to call it flexpertise.
Okay.
So it's flexible and it's expertise. Because a lot of times comms functions are, under resourced, underappreciated, underutilized, and yet we're shaping conversations and we're shaping trust in, the greatest companies and brands in America. So I think bringing in someone that has that expertise, whether it's crisis communications, media relations, employee communications, change management, can make a huge impact immediately, as opposed to having a role posted, opening the role, posting the role, getting 18 layers of people to approve it. It can make an immediate impact right away.
we do get a lot of value in the external perspective that we get from some of our agencies and some of our advisors. And the thing that I always remind myself of is that no matter how hard I might try, I am a creature of Microsoft. As my job, I'm here 24/7. I am surrounded by this environment, and in that role, it's very difficult to retain true perspective. And so what you get from people who are not 24/7 in that is a view into what we're doing and what the world is doing that is slightly different and so very, very valuable. Perspective is the most valuable thing that we can bring. And it is the hardest piece to do. So, we have to work at it. And you get perspective in a variety of different ways, but a great way of getting it is from people who have different experiences and different 24/7s.
Our goal was to have a little fun and educate people a little bit more about what fractional is. We hope we accomplished that. So thank you to all of our guests who've been on for the past few months, and thank you to all our listeners, and stay tuned. So much more to come.